UFC Fight Night. Josh Emmett takes on Kevin Vallejos. Andy and Jim here from Winning in the Shadows are going to break down all of the fights, and we're going to go over most significant strikes winner from last week. Let's do that right now. Congratulations, John Jones 661, my man. So happy you won. I'm pretty sure he was goofing around because he said 69 significant strikes, and I did not have 76 as the total significant strikes. I would have been way off. So congratulations, John. Hit me up in Discord. Let me know your wager talk username, and we will get that free 3-day pass added on there. As always, guys, we run a contest. Put in the comment section after the show how many significant strikes in the main event, and whoever's closest wins a free 3-day pass. So how many significant? You got two kind of low volume guys this week with Emmett and Vallejos. So be interesting to see what the guesses are. All right. So last week, Jim, I played the clip of the Office Space applying to fighters, and based on my horrific picks, I have to ask myself,
what would you say you do here?
Give out losers would be the Andy Lang mantra.
I'm right alongside you. I feel like I'm looking for my stapler. I feel like I haven't been here.
Yeah, let's talk this out here a little bit before we break down all the fights. It's been a bad year for UFC, by far our worst sport, and this is pretty new for us, and we got to address it because there's a lot of people out in the space that put out content that don't bet or don't bet nearly as much, or their bankroll is not a business. For us, this is real life scenarios and situations. So we got to figure out why we have all this craziness. I mean, we didn't even have a bet on the main event. And there's Charles Oliveira dog walking Max Holloway. How much money was lost?
Bet on the main event.
Yeah. So I guess I'll run down the list of what's going on with all of this craziness. Is it the move to Paramount? Just it seems a little weird that would be a reason. Is it the judging? But then the judging doesn't really have much to do with the Cody Garbrandt fight, or does it? Is it is it the changing of the guard that we got these newer guys coming in that UFC's trying to replace some of the older guys with the newer guys and we're getting variants? Or is it just, hey, this is a weird year and things will start to fall into place? I don't know what the pecking order is, but I gotta be honest, this is the worst start to a year in MMA that I've ever had, and not really sure what the reason is. What's your thoughts?
I don't think there's necessarily one that outweighs more. The one that I keep coming to is the move to Paramount. And, well, Jim, what could be different? It's still fighters in a cage. There's a ton different. There's a ton backstage that we don't see as fans, as handicappers. The fact that you have a different person as leadership, it's a problem. Take your favorite local pizza place. They've been there for 40 years. You love him, right? Same old guy behind the counter. He makes a sale. New people come in. Menu doesn't change. The guy even stays on to help. But there's something different.
There's sauce just
different.
The sauce just
doesn't hit
not
the
as
same.
Sweet. Yeah.
The garlic knots aren't as plump. You get one less mozzarella stick. I mean, you can go down the list of things. The soda's not as flat. Right, that's a big sign. When you flat soda, oof, that's trouble.
This is great. This is a great comparison.
It's a great comparison because nothing changes except leadership. But anybody who owns a business, I'm a business owner of multiple businesses. You're a business owner of multiple businesses. Success starts at the top. And when there's no clear-cut leader and there's not structure, how can we expect the employees to have structure? The employees are the fighters. I've heard that they're so unorganized as far as having fights planned out that guys are only getting 3 weeks' notice. Like, when am I fighting? So it's not so much the notice. It's the fact that they've been training for a fight for 6, 8 weeks. When do you keel off? When do you peak? The late notice call-outs, they're not as smooth as they used to. The face-offs. How can you have main event fighters face off 4 times in 4 days? Every day you got to get up and stare your opponent in the face. And keep in mind, they don't just do it once. They do it about, 10 times till the lighting's perfect. It's overproduction. It's watering everything down. I think that's the real big thing. The other thing, and I love that you said this, things will right themselves in MMA. I don't believe that we're going to have 12 months of no matter what you do, you're just wrong. You're just wrong no matter what you try to do. We are going to level out. But there's going to be growing pains and a learning process for production, for coaches, for fighters. We've seen some horrible game plans this year. Absolutely atrocious. And I think that reflects directly on preparation time and coaching. Another thing that we spoke about is the fact that Vegas has no longer become the hotbed for MMA. Maybe fights, but not training. It's just the same old thing. We're seeing coaches start to retire. We're seeing gyms start to change ownership. Same theory. Gym changes ownership. We have a problem. I just dealt with this for 3 years. I took over a gym, changed ownership. A lot of good things happened. A lot of things that weren't so smooth happened. We learned from it. But there's a grace period that you need to go through. And I think the UFC is going through that right now.
Yeah, I mean, by far my biggest loss was Luke Fernandez. He's killing Bellato. He's killing him. Like, I mean, Bellato's bleeding, and all of a sudden one little, like, wasn't even a full-fledged, like, haul off and hit it, just one thing in the clinch, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, how do you handicap that?
Yeah.
How could you possibly have come to that conclusion on a handicap that Bellato's going to get his ass beat and then all of a sudden lands a little something on the chin that was so know nothing. They had to go to replay before the announcers could even tell what it was. They were like, "Is it an elbow? Was it a knee?" You're like, "Oh no, it was a little." So,
Yeah.
but we'll break.
The Cody fight was the big one for me. Look, love Deontay Johnson, but it was very clear in that fight that there was a lack of knowledge in MMA. He kept going for the same move, and it wasn't there. It was never there. And we just kept going back to it and back to it and back to it. So, too much faith in these guys? Not enough faith in the veterans? I don't really know, but keep your guard up going forward.
Yeah, we're going to. So we're going to tread very lightly with the plays. We may or may not have plays coming into the week at Wager Talk for our official plays, but I will tell you this. When we put out plays, they're probably going to be day of. Mm-hmm. Like, an official play should have been Drew Dober. When the line moves that much, that was my saving grace. I hammered Drew Dober. I see that line move $1 after weigh-ins. That's an auto play. If you follow us live, you know that was just an auto play. And then I didn't even like put it in for clients. So if you watch the live show, great. But you know, if you were trusting us with our pre-fight reads, and I was on shows. I love Michael Johnson. I like Michael Johnson. Some asshole was even nice enough to point a horrible pick on Michael Johnson. It was like, well, yeah, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Things changed
since then.
I don't know if you noticed, but all right. So let's get into these fights here, and we're going to start with our girl Sam Page and Piera Rodriguez. What a surprise! Sam Hughes as an underdog. Has anybody been an underdog in more UFC fights? Because normally, if you're this big of an underdog, like, you're kind of losing, and she just keeps like plugging away. What a career as a perennial underdog. So where do you land on Piera Rodriguez and Sam Hughes?
I'm still sticking with Sam Hughes. I'll tell you flat out, she's my pick to win this fight. I believe Sam, how many rematches has she have? Who did she rematch? I didn't have time to look this up, but she's from a good camp to where she's making improvements, and we've seen it with Sam. There's a level of confidence in her game. I think they're going to be able to take a lot away from that first fight and make their adjustments for it. I honestly think she wins that fight if she just steps on the gas pedal a little bit more in round 2. That's all it would have taken for her to win that fight, because she clearly loses round 1. A lot of judges, I personally had the second round very close, and third round was all Sam Hughes. So I think she knows who she is. If she can steal round 1, great. But 2 and 3 is where she's going to make her bones. Piera Rodriguez, again, very physical, does make some mental gaffes. I believe Sam and her coaches as well can expose that.
Like headbutting the shit out of Carnellucci multiple times.
Twice? How do you do 2? Really? How do you do 2? You got away with it once. I know you don't speak English, but when the ref goes, no, I think that's
Yes.
pretty universal, right? I think all languages can understand that. Here's where I get to coaching. Sam Hughes has good coaches. Piera doesn't. She's still going over the same old thing. It's physical training. It's cardio. It's brawling striking. I don't see an improvement. I just don't with her fights. To me, she's the same fighter. Maybe got her cardio better. Cardio was a problem in the beginning, but it is not Sam Hughes level cardio. So for me, it's Sam Hughes. My favorite bet in this fight. I don't know if it's out yet. I'll check while you do your breakdown. The Sam plus 3.5. I think you parlay that. You're probably going to have to parlay that, but I think Sam pulls this one off, man. She knows who she is, and she knows that if she just gets 2.5 better minutes in round 2, she is going to be live at the end for a decision.
I'll go head to head with you on this one. Sam Hughes, 33 years old. I think there's going to be a little bit of a strength difference. I love that Pierre Rodriguez was able to beat our girl Josephine Knudsen. We love Josephine Knudsen, so that kind of, it opened my eyes because I didn't know what she was going to look like after headbutting Carnelossi. And the fact was, she was on top of Carnelossi. When she headbutted, it was, she was on top, she was dominating. She's got a little bit overzealous. Fact is, who she lost to in UFC? Well, Jillian Robertson, elite, and Carnelossi when she was winning, and then gets disqualified. Hughes is going to be really good in the first and second round. I'm going to say I'm not really sure if her cardio is getting better.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is a woman that barely beat Dudakova and Luciano. Those are 2 split decisions. Shauna Bannon, yeah, of course she's going to beat Shauna Bannon, but yeah, I'm not sold that Sam Hughes is going to be the cardio warrior in round 3. And I think when you get to round 3, whoever gets the takedown is probably going to hold position. There's going to be a lot of clinch. There's going to be a lot of wrestling in this one. Probably not going to be that big of a stand-up. So I don't like Piera Rodriguez being a favorite. It's not a massive favorite, but it's enough to not want. It's enough for me to not want to bet it. Honestly, if you're betting either one of them, probably by decision would be a good way to extract some value out of there, because neither one of these girls is submitting the other one unless there's something very, very random that would happen. But I think once you get out of the first round, neither one of them is going to have the strength or cardio to submit the other. But I think you're on the right track. Goes the distance. Is that what you're looking at?
I agree with that. It goes the distance. Obviously, so do the books at over 2.5 being minus 580. Just on principle.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah, you're not
on
betting
principle. You're hoping that someone gets a sub. I don't think it's a knockout by any means.
Sure,
but yeah, it's a decision. It's going to be greasy once that 3.5 hits. I mean, give me some extra points here in a close fight.
Move on to Elijah Smith and Su Young Yu. Elijah Smith, we know pretty well. His dad. Basically, Elijah Smith's grown up in the gym. His dad was a really good fighter that just didn't quite make it to UFC, but dad very much a professional. Elijah Smith just, has been there, done that. He's going to have really good training. He's going to be focused. He's going to have he's going to have the good, smart corner. What worries me is he's just raw. He's young. He's raw. I think you and I both worried he was entering UFC maybe a bit too early.
Yes.
Because we like his skill set, but we're like, you need a little bit more polishing. And you see that in his fights. You can see he's got all the physical talent in the world, but he thinks a lot. He does make some mistakes. He does get there with the wrestling. The slam from Kazama was amazing. That's going to be the big highlight, but he was fighting off triangles and submissions, and he was kind of putting limbs and necks where they shouldn't be. Vince Morales was a really good fight. I love that one went the distance. Mm-hmm. I love that he was able to win. He's just, when you bet on him, he's just going to look clunky at times. You kind of have to know that at this point. is Su Young Yu the guy to take advantage? I think if this gets on the ground, it's Elijah Smith who's going to be he's just going to be overall stronger and better on the ground. And this win against Long Zhao, I think it aged a little bit better after Long Zhao, basically was doing fine against Cody Garbrandt until he decided to knee and kick a guy in the balls multiple times. My lean is Elijah Smith on this one, but I'm a little bit worried about betting money on Elijah Smith as a favorite because he's going to make mistakes. He hasn't really paid the price yet. I'm not sure Yu is the guy to do it. Elijah Smith will be the pick, but I'm not betting my money on it. What do you think about this fight?
I disagree. I'm going to be putting my money on Elijah Smith.
Okay.
And I'm pretty confident in it, especially at this number being sub minus 200. Like you said, grew up in the gym. Yu's victory is going. His victory is going to be contingent on the wrestling.
Okay.
And I think that Elijah Smith is better. I think he's more of an athlete. He's more physical. If I had to break this fight down to the simplest sentence ever, it's bet the 9-1 legacy fighter against a road to UFC opponent.
Oh, you're going the road to UFC. Okay, solid.
Yeah. We got a guy off road to UFC. What the hell have they done to inspire confidence in us? And then we have a guy who's grown up in the gym with his father being Gilbert Smith, who knows how the UFC works, knows the right way to do things. And I love the fact that he's 9-1. That one is important. If he was 9-0, I'd be twice as worried. It sounds stupid, but it's the truth. You have to taste defeat. And the fact that he has a loss in round 3 of a fight that he was winning, that is a massive lesson for a fighter, is that you could take absolutely nothing for granted. And I think that we saw that in his fight with Aaron Tao. Aaron Tao, the notorious cheater, Aaron Tao, just kept coming forward. And Elijah Smith in that fight pivoted to, I'm not finishing this guy. I need to win a decision. And you saw the same lesson against Vince Morales. He beat the brakes off of Vince Morales for 2 rounds. And he said, this guy's not going anywhere. I'm going to keep myself safe in round 2. And Vince Morales, round 3. And Vince Morales had some moments. I feel like this kid is going to take another leap. I like Elijah Smith in this spot. I will be betting it with my own money. I think it's him by decision, though. I'm not too confident to jump on a finish, even against the road to UFC guy. The experience edges on him. I think Smith banks 2, and then cruises in that third with using his wrestling and holding down you.
All right, move on to one of the bigger favorites. It might be the biggest favorite. Bia Mesquita against Rendon. She's minus 650 at this point, and I got to be honest, Jim, I am not going to be surprised if she makes this look like minus 2,000. Mesquita, she's just, when she gets this thing on the ground, it's a wrap. Yeah. It's over. Alex Siva's got all of her faults, but Alex Siva, her background is, wrestling, ground, jiu-jitsu. Mesquita chokes her out. This Dinwoody fight, by the way. Yeah. And Alex Siva's tall, kind of big, and didn't matter. This Dinwoody, big, and it didn't matter. Mesquita gets her on the ground and ground and pounds her. So this win against Hope Chase was by far the most concerning thing. She didn't look great. She was obviously getting tired, and there's an illegal kick, and she chooses not to finish. And that one was like, oh man, I don't know about this one. But God, she answered the bell and answered the call the last 2 fights. And I think Rendon's terrible. A split against Elise Pereira in a fight that was truly awful. Loses against Daria, and then a split against Tamaris Vidal. That win has aged absolutely horrific. And remember, she didn't come from Contender Series. It wasn't like she had an explosive win that wowed, the judges. And the other thing about her is, where's her finishes? She doesn't have any finishes. Yeah. So what are you terrified about? Striking? No. Submission? No. So who has the path to victory with the finish? It's obviously Mesquita. I like Mesquita. I like her by finish. I think this is one of my favorite plays on this card. What do you think?
Rendon could be one of the worst fighters on the roster, if not the
She's
worst
really
fighter.
bad.
She
Yeah, she's
is
really bad.
so slow. That's the problem. Like, say she recognizes the takedown. I don't think her brain and her body can compute fast enough to actually stop it. So it's going to look like a lazy outside trip from a jiu-jitsu player who's not really heavy on the wrestling. It's not going to be a blast double leg, maybe a single leg. I also wouldn't rule out her taking the back against the cage. I think she can climb her like a tree. And once she locks the body triangle in, Rendon's going nowhere. And she just doesn't have the speed to combat. Where this could get hairy is if two things. If Mesquita says to herself, this girl does not hit hard, she does not put volume on, this is the chance for me to be a striker. Now, even at that, I think she can still win because there's going to be nothing that oohs and ahs from the Rendon side. But that's where it could get sketchy. The other way it could get sketchy is that if she goes full bore in round one, then doesn't have the cardio for the takedown. But I don't see Rendon having this amazing cardio to fight off these constant grappling exchanges. I think it's just going to zap her gas tank. So I concur about the finish. I think at some point she's going to end up on Rendon's back, and that's going to be the end of it. If she ends up on top on the ground, Rendon's going nowhere. There's no scramble getting up. She's going to sit on her chest until she finds a finish, probably an arm triangle of some sort. So there will be a time to fade Mesquita. It is not against Rendon. I will hate myself if I do not fade Rendon and she gets her walking papers after this. And also, what does the UFC want? What do they want? What does Paramount want?
Mesquita's, she can finish. She's a little bit of a looker. Like, yeah, she's definitely marketable. So yeah, you want Mesquita the Mosquito. So Luan Lacerda and Hector, is it Hector or Hesher Sosa? I can't remember. But
Hesher, I believe.
Yeah, Hesher. So Sosa's coming off of really nice contender series win. We got a few of those on this card here. I'll let you go first. What do you think of Lacerda and Sosa?
Well, I've learned my lesson on contender series as far as I'm approaching these guys going forth. I'm not going to put too much faith in what we did on contender series. This fight is very much mirror image. I don't believe that Luan Lacerda is a title challenger, but he has a very good skill set. I think he has multiple ways that he can win fights. Same thing with Sousa. Both of these guys want to get to the grappling and they want to get to the dominant position. So really, whoever does not accept bottom is going to win this fight. Problem is, I have no idea who that is. I have no clue who is going to work for better position and who is going to just lay on their back and play jiu-jitsu from their back. I think you watch this fight live, and if you see either of these guys accepting bottom, you are betting the other guy because the look is not going to be there. You cannot roll for arm bars in the men's division in 2026. We just saw what happened to De Ridder when he's on bottom rolling for arm bar. It just doesn't happen. Everybody's wise to it. And after round one, when they're sweaty, it's not happening. So whoever is going to control the positioning, that is who you bet on this fight. I see a lot of grappling. Maybe just take into account that both the guys can grapple with each other and just think fight goes. Stall a lot of time with the grappling and go from there. I do not believe this is a striking fight.
I'm going to kind of go the other way. I'm not nearly as high on Lacerda as you are. I don't think he's that good. Very much submission or bust. And, Blackshear and Cody, I mean, I don't know, Cody, the loss to Cody Staman's pretty bad. So he takes a bunch of time off and comes off against Simon Oliveira. And yeah, he got the win. I didn't think he looked great. I thought like you said, he accepted position sometimes. And Simon Oliveira kind of sucks. So Lacerda kind of struggling with him and then getting the finish, I don't know, maybe gives us a little bit of an advantage here. Don't forget, Sosa trains with Topuria. And I liked what he did in his contender series fight. It goes down as a unanimous decision, but to me, it screamed, wow, he's prepared. He's got a game plan. That was the thing I noticed about him. And he's got a lot of professional fights. We've got a shitload of amateur fights. Like, this dude's been in a lot of fights. I loved what Max and Lee's not great, but Max and Lee was undefeated at the time. So he was able to hand Max and Lee, and I believe if I remember correctly, Max and Lee was like way taller, and such, and could have provided some problems, and he just was methodical. And if you're training with Taporia in the same gym, and you're going up against a guy who I think he's submission or bust. Like you said, whoever controls position, I get it. Who do I trust to control that position? Well, it's Sosa, who I believe his game plan is going to be a little bit more solid. So I actually really like Sosa in this one. I totally put my faith in the wrong contender series guy. At first I was like Montez last week, and I was like, no, I'll change it to Fernandez, and it turned out no, it was always Montez. So if I got to pick a contender series guy who I have the utmost faith in, it's Sosa. I just believe in the camp. I believe in the game plan. I just think Lacerda, if he doesn't get the submission, is going to look pretty vulnerable in a lot of exchanges. So Hector Sosa will be the pick. So one of the guys that we had high hopes for coming off a contender series, who's just been a real letdown, is Balaji Oki. He fights on Manuel Sosa. Where are you trusting Oki at this point, or are you just kind of out?
No, I can't trust Oki. Can't trust Oki. I want to bet Sousa. I really do. I like this guy's skill set. He hits really hard. He's tough. He will be there for all 3 rounds. And Oki just makes too many mistakes. But Sousa, I have questions if he can put, Oki's still a UFC level fighter. And yes, we had Sousa on contender. But I need to see you against a guy who's had fights in the UFC. I have to. This fight, again, I'd love to bet him. I have this pegged as a doing your research going forward. I am okay not having money on an Oki fight. What I need to do here is find out what kind of fighter Sousa is. This fight is going to tell you a lot about this guy going forward. If he goes out here and he beats the brakes off of Oki and just dominates this fight and looks like he has a head on his shoulders, uses the power when he needs to, uses the clinch when he needs to, outclasses Oki, then we have a fighter we can bet on going forward. But it's a wait and see. This should also be a fantastic live spot if Oki has a really good first round and you get a stupid number on Sousa. Yeah, you're betting Sousa. I have much more faith in Sousa to win 2 rounds than Oki to win 2 rounds. He's just going to make mistakes. Where Oki can match him is his physical ability. The guy is a physical freak. But Sousa's just got one of those heads, too, that just looks like a cinder block. I don't think Oki can get him out of there. So I'm going to pick Sousa for the sake of the video. This is a live bet spot for me. No money on this as of yet, and I'm looking to live bet Sousa when I see the chinks in the Oki armor going forward after round 1.
Oki, he fights Timmy Kwamba, and I thought Timmy Kwamba was going to be a pretty decent UFC fighter. Kwamba not so much. Chris Duncan, he actually gets Duncan down, and then he puts his neck in a bad position. Classic Oki mistake. And then he fights Michael Aswell, and this was a terrible look for Oki.
Yeah.
Aswell was fighting up a weight, I believe. He took it on super short notice, and Oki couldn't get him out of there, and actually was kind of getting tired in the last round. And then Mason Jones, this is Jim, this is your thing. What happens when a guy almost gets the finish early and then doesn't? There's an adrenaline dump, and that's what happened.
Yep.
This is what happened with Oki. He almost
he beat the shit out of Mason Jones.
He did.
And then Mason Jones was still there. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Here's where I'm going with this one. If I have to pick some weirdness to happen, because UFC has been very weird, I'm going to pick this fight. Oki, okay, he gets Duncan down, gets choked out. Okay, we learned our lesson. We're not going to do that again. Michael Aswell kind of put on a little bit of a show, was feeling himself with the striking, but you got to get somebody out of there. So what does he do? He goes for broke against Mason Jones, almost gets him out of there, and then doesn't. I'm just going to put a little bit of faith that Oki kind of puts it together here. I'm not that big on Manuel Sosa, and so these contender series guys have dropped the ball from time to time. So he did lose to Archie Colgan over in Bellator, split decision against, he knocks out Tim Wild. Okay, whatever. I think if you're looking for underdogs, I think you can do worse here. This would not surprise me at all if, like you said, Oki is a physical specimen. He's got strength. He's got power. If he just doesn't do the stupid thing, he's a real fighter. And I'm gonna roll the dice that Oki does not do the stupid thing. Have I bet it with my own money? Of course not. But I will not be betting Sousa, and the official pick for this video will be Balaji Oki. I would be pretty worried about betting on Sousa.
This is a much more dangerous fight than people are making it out to be. I would not recommend having a stake in this fight. This is a learning opportunity.
It's a great live bet. It's a classic live bet. So we move on to Chris Curtis and Orolbai. You really like Orolbai in this one. I think I've come to your side. Talk to us about why you like Orolbai in this one.
Well, let's talk about Chris Curtis first. We're going up in weight. We're going down in weight. We're going up in weight. We're going down in weight. We're going up in weight. We're going down in weight. Not from
gym to gym to gym.
Yeah, not a good sign. Also fighting out of Vegas. There's box number 2 to check, right? 38 years old, I believe.
He's a journeyman.
Getting up there,
He's been
38,
around.
39. Yeah. Chris is what he is. What is going to change? At 38 years old, what is Chris Curtis going to change? That mythical takedown defense has been shattered to pieces. He can be taken down. His volume is great, but he starts slow. And going down in weight again, I don't believe he's going to have the cardio to compete in the third. I think he's going to be down 2 rounds. He's also been, I'm not going to say injury prone, but we had the hamstring injury against Brandon Allen. There's always something hurting this guy. And I think all the years of hard sparring with Strickland at Extreme Couture and these guys training ridiculously for all these years is starting to catch up to him at 38 years old. Orolbai is just a monster. He's a monster. We've seen this guy walk through hellfire to get wins with his eyes completely shut. And just still finding ways to swing and hit the target. I think he's going to be way stronger in the clinch. The wrestling advantage is clearly on his side. The cardio advantage in the third is clearly on his side, and he's not a slow starter. So by the time Chris Curtis wakes up and is in a fight, I believe he's going to be tired and down 2 rounds. So to me, this is a slam dunk for Orolbai here. Age, everything is on our side. The way Chris Curtis wins this fight is flash knockout, flash submission. And I don't see that happening against Orolbai. I love Orolbai in this spot. I think you just play him by decision. Chris Curtis notoriously tough. I don't believe he gets knocked out or choked out. I think it's Orolbai by decision.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to his UFC debut, he's getting his ass whooped by Phil Hawes. Absolute ass whooped. And then he lands a shot and knocks out Phil Hawes because that's, the Phil Hawes chin. Gets the finish against Brendan Allen. But then, man, Rodolfo Vieira goes the distance. Jack Hermanson goes the distance. Joaquin Buckley, this is by far his best win. That is aged really nicely, but this was at a different weight class. And now he's starting to get a little bit older and loses to Kevin Gastelum. He was getting his ass whooped against Imavov before that gets ruled a no contest. Split against Barrios. What do we always say about splits? One judge changes one round. That's a loss. Loses a split to Brendan Allen, which I didn't even think that was a split. And I thought Brendan Allen looked terrible because that was a short notice situation. He's Kopylov is kind of beating him, and then, the head kick with 1 second left. But to your point, Curtis's cardio was gone.
Yeah.
It was, he was dead. And then Max Griffin's another older fighter here. And again, split decision. So this guy's playing with fire. And what you don't see is the finishing ability. This win against Buckley's December 2022. He doesn't have that big knockout. So now it comes down to points. And I'm just not sure he's the guy that wins these rounds when Orolbai, to me, is going to have the bigger moments. That's the other thing. Orolbai is going to hit him really hard. And Curtis has got a great guard. But that's the problem. He's so worried about his guard that sometimes he's not that interested in throwing punches. So even though Curtis has got those, rock solid forearms, Orolbai's landing these huge shots and accumulating, points. Everyone's going to point to this Rebecca fight. Oh yeah, his face was, blasted to shit. That's a Rebecca fight. That's
Yep.
what Rebecca does. That's what this is what he does. Both guys are beat to shit, like, because Rombeski doesn't cover his face at all. And then you're just like, I'm going to keep throwing as many punches at that open face. And then Rombeski's throwing back at you, and you end up with your face looking like that. But the fact is, I loved his win against Brenner. I thought that was a great win. Like you said, he can finish you on the ground like he did against Medic. And nice Kimura. And he just, God, he hits so hard, man. When he lands clean, Jack Hermanson goes out, hit him right in the side of the head, and Hermanson was done. Bigger moments go to Orolbai. I just don't believe Curtis is going to be there in the third round. Like you said, Orolbai can absorb damage, but it's not like this guy's been getting his ass kicked. He's 15-2, and he's got a lot of finishes. That Rombeski fight is going to be the outlier. People are going to point to that one. I don't know about that. So
44 pro fights for Chris Curtis.
That's the other thing. Who's got the most damage? It's Chris Curtis. Yeah. So, all right. Fight. You got your R word sign? Because Eric Anders.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because Eric Anders has come out and said this is going to be his last fight here. So, to me, that makes this pretty simple. You got a fighter that's retiring. I am going to be betting on Brad Tavares. I don't need to overthink it. Eric Anders, I believe, is a little bit of a gas bag at this point. Even though he gets the win against Weidman, he was exhausted. That was just a matter of who's going to, get tired first. Leroy Duncan, that was about as easy as money gets. Tavares, not exciting. Both these guys are past their prime, but Tavares is, I can't believe I'm going to say that Tavares is probably going to have the better cardio. He gets knocked out against Berzik, but that's in the third round. Unanimous against Mearshart. He does go the distance against Park. That was a weird fight, but he does make it the distance.
That's
Park.
Yeah.
It's what Park does. And he did at least make it to the third round against Rodriguez. You would just love it if Tavares could just, like, dude, could you just push forward a little bit? Can you stop dancing on the outside?
The smallest amount, like just a
little bit. Push
bit.
forward with a couple jab. Give me a 1-2 combo while you're not backing up. But it's a retirement fight. Once I heard retirement and Eric Anders in the same sentence, I believe he's running a management company. So he's preparing for his next phase in life. To me, it's Tavares, and to me, it's not even close. What do you think?
This slam, that's all I got to hear. It's Tavares. Originally, I was like, over 2.5. No, that's not a bet anymore. As soon as you hear retirement, that's not a bet anymore. It's not. I actually would rather sprinkle Tavares by finish, to be honest with you.
I'm with you.
It's Tavares on the money line. Do what you have to do. Make money on retiring fighters. Make money on it. Don't even go method. Get the money line. Bet Tavares. That's it. Retiring fighters go down. Two of them. Do I have to? I'll give you the list again. Chris Lytle, Robbie Lawler. That's it.
Fighting
Chris
the ghost of Nico
Robbie
Price.
Lawler. And he took a dive, keep in mind. Remember, they had the video package queued up, ready to go in that fight. Just throwing that out there.
That's right.
They didn't have a video package for Chris Lytle, but they had the video package for Robbie in the cage, ready to go.
Amazing. All right, retirement fight. Yeah, and honestly, these are the angles that we can. Yes. I don't want to say 100% depend on, but these are the ones. Like, a line moves $1 after weigh-ins, we're playing it. Fighter retiring, we're playing it. So yes, in 2026, I never thought I would say Tavares is my favorite bet on a card, but here we are. So, Bruno Silva and Charles Johnson. Here's another theory that we definitely believe in. I'll let you talk this one out.
I need to get a sign for this. I need a sign for this theory too.
S word.
Just draw a needle.
Back knee. Yeah.
On the back of the sign. Bruno Silva's on steroids. We saw it the last fight. I just went back to confirm it, and he's covered in pimples. Covered. We saw it in the walkout.
Covered. It was really bad.
And with this guy's on the juice, he messes people up. It's very simple. His career path is so simple. Look at this. From JP Pies to Cody Durden, juice, right? Just juice. Getting older. He's off the juice. He's clean. He didn't look like he was on the juice against Cape. He looked horrible. Josh Vandy's uninterested in that fight. Just gets beaten to a bloody pulp at that point. Just volumed on. Comes out against Park, and we're, 15 seconds in? We're like, oh, no. Oh, no. We saw it on the walkout. Here's our rule, guys. We don't bet against fighters that are on a juice. So Charles Johnson coming off 2 knockouts. All right, been hurt twice. This is a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Oh, I'm sorry, not coming off 2 knockouts. Coming off getting knocked out by Alex Perez. Okay? Ugh. Not a fan. Not a fan. So it's going to be Bruno Silva. I am not betting this fight. This has sideshow written all over it for me. If you're doing anything, you're betting on the guy on the juice.
I love Bruno Silva here as the underdog here. I mean, okay, take out the special vitamins aspect of it. Look who he's lost to recently: Van, Cop, champ, and champ contender. And like, this is so weird. So he goes from Cody Durden to Cop and Van down to Young Sung Park. Like, kind of a weird trajectory here. I'm with you about Charles Johnson. I got red flags galore. I know he knocked out Kavanaugh, but clearly UFC saw what we saw, which was Kavanaugh was beating him up in the first round and then makes the big mistake. So when you go back and watch that fight, yeah, you go, man, which one of these guys do you want fighting, Brandon Royval? Which one of these guys do you want fight Brandon Moreno? You go, probably the young Kavanaugh who just made one mistake but had shown the upside. Not seeing the upside. So, no, he didn't get knocked out against Kavanaugh. He was getting tuned up. So what's Johnson's last 3 fights? A loss against Mirov, a fight where he gets a random knockout when he was losing, and then Alex Perez knocking you out in January, by the way. And remember, quick. Charles Johnson, he is known for taking a lot of fights way too quick. Charles loves him paychecks, and we love him for it because he's when the phone rings, hello, I'll take it. Hello,
I'm
Charles,
a fan of the guy. I love Charles Johnson fights because they're exciting and they're predictable. But I don't think this is a good recipe. Just in January, getting hit like he did.
I take Silva as the underdog, and be honest, I wouldn't mind Silva by finish in this one. So it's just
you think this is a real? Are we overlooking this and just take this fight not to go? If Silva's really not on the juice, we've seen this guy just fade and fall apart late in rounds.
Yeah, he does fall apart, and Johnson will have cardio.
He will have cardio in the third. Correct, exactly. If he's on the juice, Charles Johnson's getting clipped. Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, fight not to go is probably a good one, but I like Silva. I like him by finish. I think you're going to get really good plus money on that one. So, Vitor Petrino and Steven Asplund, interesting fight here. The more and more I listen to Asplund and his interviews, the more and more I just like him. I liked him before he was in UFC, but I don't know. He's charming. He's polarizing. There's something really likable about him. His striking defense is not very good, but I went back and watch a couple of fights. His striking's pretty slick. It's pretty nice at times. Where'd you land at on this fight?
I am a big fan of Asplund right now. He needs to do this for the dad bods out there. Just take the Adonis out. Do it, man. Do it.
Take the Adonis
all those guys
out.
Working 70 hours a week, no time for the gym, eating leftover mac and cheese and applesauce for dinner late when the kids go to bed. Do it for the dad bods. This is more about Petrino than it is Asplund for me. I don't like this move up for Petrino. I never did. I thought he showed up against Thomas Peterson, who has been an absolute notorious fade for us, and Austin Lane has been an absolute fade for us. And he looked like a puffy, blown-up light heavyweight. It wasn't I'm moving up to heavyweight so I don't have to cut weight and have better cardio. He just exploded. He's puffy. He hasn't been pushed at all since his move to heavyweight. He's been reliant on the finish since his move to heavyweight. We have no idea what this guy's going to do in the third round at heavyweight. With Asplund, we know this. If he doesn't get knocked out in the first, dude is going to be there. He's going to be there for the fight. He's going to have the cardio. He's going to have the volume. I don't know if it's going to be enough to finish Petrino, though. You could look at this fight and say, man, 2 finishes for Petrino. Asplund, oh, big guy. This is the heavyweight goes to decision. Like Steven Asplund wins by decision in a close split against Petrino. I just have zero faith in Petrino to make improvements as an MMA fighter. I think his move up was lazy. I think he most certainly could have stayed at that weight class and worked harder. But instead, he chose to run to heavyweight where he didn't have to cut weight and he can just lift weights all day and look good on the beach. It's Asplund for me. Sneaky fight goes in this one.
I'm going to go head to head with you that this fight, I don't see a world in which this fight goes the distance. I know Asplund, okay, you can take him down. Maybe Petrino does it, but even if Petrino does get on top of him, I think Petrino ends up finding some kind of finish. I mean, it took him a while to figure it out against Austin Lane, but that was, when he just moved up. And then, Thomas Peterson, he almost knocked out Thomas Peterson really early. I mean, he flatlined him early in the fight. And then, he gets Peterson out there with the big uppercut. But here's the thing about, those two fights with Petrino and why I'm liking this fight to not go the distance. Austin Lane, this fight's never go the distance. So you knew that one wasn't going to go. And Peterson's a wrestler, wrestling background, and he got crushed in the early and survives it. But Petrino had enough cardio to get him out of there in the third round. Like he had enough strength left in him to get him out of there. I kind of like the move up for Petrino. I like it more than you do. And Stephen Asplund, you go back and you watch the Sean Sheriff fight. He put this massive gash on Sheriff that was pretty wicked. But here's the thing: Asplund was getting pieced up too. Like he's got slick striking. It's really good. It comes at some really weird angles. Sometimes it comes out of. It's hard to block. But he leaves himself open to. If Petrino gets him on the ground, I think Petrino can get him out of there. But if this stays on the feet, I think someone gets pieced up. I think someone eats a big shot because both these guys can hit really, really hard. And I kind of go to Asplund and I go, okay, his striking's good, but he leaves himself open. So Asplund is either going to make a mistake and get clocked, or he's going to piece up Petrino on the feet. It's dog or pass. That's the only way that I would play this one. I wouldn't take a favorite because I think these guys are too evenly matched. When I listen to Asplund, I can't put my finger on it, but he just sounds like he's comfortable with himself. He lost a ton of weight. It feels like he just knows himself. There's a calmness about him, but there's a confidence there's just something that's really likable about him to where he's not going to overthink this thing. He's going to, he's not going to be second guessing his game plan. He's going to come in there with knowing what he wants to do. It's can the opponent counter it? So yeah, there's just something about Asplund that I think is I have confidence in him. You listen to some of these bozos in interviews and you're like, oh, God, I can't believe I bet my money on that guy. Or, like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at his Instagram, Christ almighty. But you listen to Asplund and you go, okay, I feel okay putting my money behind that guy. He's not going to be sloppy. He's not going to do something stupid. He's not going to miss weight, So take that for what it's worth. But dog or pass, I think we get there on that one. I got another dog or pass here with Rahiki and Harry Hardwick. I think by far my best call over the last few years was Harry Hardwick to lose by leg kicks. So, and
cheers to that.
It's bullshit that BetMGM gives you all of the potential methods of victory, and in that one did not give me leg kicks. Otherwise, I was gonna. This is not Kai Fernandez. Kai Fernandez, pound for pound, has the best leg kicks, like in the sport. I don't know what he does, how he trains for him, but when he kicks you in the leg, your leg goes dead. I think this might be the UFC veteran coming off of a weird loss. And by the way, he took that fight on no notice against Kai Fernandez. There was no chance to prepare for that one. So if you want to see a hilarious fight, go watch him on Contender Series. Rahiki won the fight. Rahiki won the fight. Yeah, I was gonna say he won the fight, and yet he got hit the hardest by far. I don't know if it's that he's got a good chin. I don't know, but he leaves himself so wide open. He's wild. You're gonna see a million spinning attacks. I'm not betting on Rahiki. I cannot bet on a guy that has zero striking defense whatsoever. This fight probably doesn't go the distance because
there you go.
Harry Hardwick. Look at a lot of these fights are not going the distance for him. So I think this is a potential fight of the night candidate. And at plus money, I get the guy that's 13-4 against a guy that's 7-0 with no striking defense. It was such a classic. Dana's just splooging in his pants about this guy. It's like, oh, this guy gets hit and he hits. Oh my god, this is amazing.
I can plug him in right now.
Yes, we
right?
giving him.
Yeah.
So, Harry Hardwick did UFC a favor by taking that fight. This might be all right, Harry, appreciate you. Here's a guy you can hit. Like, he's going to be swinging back at you, but I guarantee you can hit this guy in the face. So it's Harry Hardwick. I haven't gotten to the window on it, but I'm not taking Rahiki at a big favorite. What do you think?
I have nothing to add.
Oh, you're with me on this one?
Literally have nothing to add. You hit 7-0, I'm out. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
Especially when you got flatlined on Contender. He literally got flatlined. Like, he woke up on the mat, stood up, and knocked the other guy out. And it's not because he had a good chin. Throw that out of your mind. He's wide open to get clocked. Fight doesn't go. You nailed it. Next fight.
Andre Fili and Jose Delgado. I'll let you tackle this one.
Andre Fili has a big problem in this fight, and it doesn't have to do with anything outside of the cage. It doesn't even have to do with his past history. This is purely a height thing to me. First of all, I already like Jose Delgado. Andre Fili has to fight someone who's the same height as him. When has this happened? It wasn't Christian Rodriguez. It wasn't Costa. It wasn't Cub Swanson. It wasn't Dan Ige. It wasn't Lucas Almeida. It wasn't Nathaniel Wood. Maybe Bill Algeo. Close to the same height. These guys are both 5'11". This is going to be massive problems for Andre Fili, who has very, very poor striking defense. And now that reach is a nightmare. That reach advantage is gone. He's going to be able to get hit by Delgado. To me, this is Delgado. It's Delgado by finish. I think he's going to clock the aging chin of Andre Fili. Again, 37 pro fights for Andre Fili. Been in a lot of wars, a lot of finishes, a lot of damage. So it's Delgado for me, Delgado by finish. The height being the same is a big red flag for Andre Fili, who's made a career out of being the longer, taller guy and able to move out of the way and clear these shots. Not going to happen anymore.
I'm with you. Jose Delgado, I actually kind of thought he might have won that fight against Nathaniel Wood. It was
close.
But it was great for him because his cardio was there. His cardio was fine in the third round. It was just, Nathaniel Wood, the king of, getting fights to go the distance. I mean, look at this guy. It's just, you can't get Nathaniel Wood out of there. It doesn't matter. And Delgado killed him in the first round. I mean, Wood's all bloodied up and everything, but Nathaniel Wood does what Nathaniel Wood does, which is somehow not get knocked out, land a bunch of leg kicks. And I thought that fight was actually weirdly good for Delgado because we know he can nuke guys because we watched him do it against Connor Matthews and Hyder Mill. But was he going to death gas in the third? Well, we saw it. He didn't. So I'm with you. Fili just makes a ton of mistakes. We didn't bring up. Remember when we did the Odie Osborne and who's got worse fight IQ?
Oh yeah, he's on the list. He's a top 10.
Yeah, he's not top 3, but he's definitely top 10. He did not win this fight against Cub Swanson. I don't care what the record says. Milky gets him out of there immediately. Then he wins another close split against Christian Rodriguez. It's Delgado all day. This is one of my favorite bets on this card. I love everything Delgado has. What's Fili's upside here? What's he going to wrestle Delgado?
He's got to land the perfect, clean, straight right hand.
But he doesn't do that.
Does he have the power to finish Delgado with that one shot, that one hitter quitter? I don't think he does. I don't see the movement. I don't see the cardio advantage. I just think it's a landslide for Delgado here. Yeah,
love Delgado in the comeback spot. Omar C. and Ion Cutelaba. What do you think about this one?
So this is another one that I think it's changing of the guard here. Cutelaba, look, man, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been funny, wow. Ion. It's been an adventure, buddy. What's our age now for Cutelaba?
32.
What are we getting to?
He's only 32.
So he's only 32. This guy went from a kill or be killed, just maniac, to a chain wrestling decision fighter. and he doesn't even do that very well. So, I mean, I have
Wow.
big questions about Cutelaba. Submitting Ebo Aslan. Ebo's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Pretty rough.
Yeah. The fight against Bukauskas, I had Bukauskas winning that pretty handedly. I didn't see how we got to a split. I think it's contingent on him getting the takedown, and C's just a better wrestler. He's a better version of what Cutelaba brings to the table. Now, Cutelaba still has that punch power, but he doesn't use it. He's too worried about the gas tank. C is much more physical in the clinch. Cutelaba, not accusing him. There's never been a suspension for it or anything, but you look at Cutelaba's body now compared to his debut. It's a very different body type. Now, that could be by design, trying to get more cardio out of it, can't have the muscle, but C is a physical force, and I love the fact that he has such a tight body lock and able to get those outside trips to dominant position. Not the most exciting thing in the world. I just think he's a step ahead of Cutelaba in the grappling. As far as the method of finish, I still think it's a boring fight that goes the distance, because that's, C against good competition. He gets a layup the last time he fought, but I'm going to go with C by decision. I think this is an ugly fight, probably a bathroom break fight, and it's going to be a lot of grappling.
I've got this one to just be chaotic as far as how the fight goes. Weirdness kills people's tickets. Omar C 12-1. Oh wow, he finished Brinson Ribeiro. It was a layup. Brinson Ribeiro is terrible. And this was in France, by the way. They gave him that one. Loses to Menafield in a really boring clinch up against the fencing. And Menafield, excuse me, bruiser, tough, just grind it out. Dawoon Jung, he wrestles and whatever. And Tuko Tokos is horrible. What I thought was interesting in this fight against Bukauskas is, it was split and there was a lot of strikes. Is there a world in which Cutelaba can somehow keep this on the ground or make Omar C work really, really hard for these clinches and takedowns? C's style is not that great for judges. There's a lot of holding and not doing a whole lot with it. This would not surprise me if we have one of these. Like maybe the first round, C looks pretty good. Like clinches, wrestles, gets him down. What if round 2, C kind of does the clinch and wrestle thing, but doesn't do a whole lot with it? It gets on the feet. Cutelaba lands some strikes, and you're going, I wonder who won that one. And then C, maybe a little bit tired because we kind of saw him he didn't melt, but Alonzo Menafield just kind of, and ended up grinding out these rounds. I just think C is going to be in a lot of these close fights if he doesn't get to finish, just because there's control time, but there's just not a lot of huge moments outside of finishes. So I have this one pegged at if there's weirdness on this card, you got to pick a couple fights where weird shit's going to happen. Cutelaba.
That's a good bet to bet a Cutelaba fight.
It's a Cutelaba can do some weird shit in this one. So I is there a world in which C just dominates and finishes him? Yeah, of course. But also, is there a world in which Cutelaba makes this sticky and you're holding an Umar C ticket and it goes to the judges and the announcer comes in, the judge won, scores it, and you're like, oh God, here we go. So yeah, I will not be betting this one. I don't trust Omar C to have the bigger moments.
Do you think C could be a victim of what we pegged last week as the F that guy judging criteria?
I absolutely love that you said that on the live show. It was the Cody Garbrandt. I wonder if the judges just deem this as a fuck this guy. We're not giving him the win. Give it to Cody.
Yep. 2 fouls, 2 low blows. You got to dominantly win the round because the judges are itching to give it the other guy. If there's multiple stand-ups in round 2, judges are going to say, what are they going to say? Fuck that guy. Fuck this guy. We're picking the other guy. At least
Cutelaba swinging, striking, trying something. You can Cormier. Oh, Cutelaba lands a big one. And I don't know. There could be weirdness on this one.
Yeah, if you're seeing stand-ups from the referee, that's something that's been consistent this year. We saw with the Moreno fight, all that cage control meant nothing against Kavanaugh.
Oh my God!
So
that
I mean, anytime the
tripped
referee
me
is
up.
breaking, if they're breaking a situation, that's actually a penalty against the guy who's supposed to be dominating the situation. So I think
Still
Moreno was
bullshit.
actually penalized, and I believe
I
Cody
think it's
Garbrandt
bullshit.
won because you got two nut shots. That's it. So watch out for the fouls. Watch out for the referee breakups. Could be able to snipe some really good lines if we think there's a little F that guy in the judges' corners.
I just disagree with that wholeheartedly.
It's horrible.
I thought
it's not right, but we have to take it into account.
No, it's the nature of the beast, and I get it. But yeah, watching that Moreno Kavanaugh, it's like, okay, Moreno doesn't get any credit for holding him for 3 minutes and kneeing the shit out of him in the thigh, and then there's a break, and then Kavanaugh lands 2 strikes. Like, well, he won that round.
Yeah. And it's not that Kavanaugh won. It's the scorecards at the end of the fight. It just makes no sense. Like out of 3 rounds, you didn't give him 1?
Yeah,
maybe 1. So whatever.
I'm with you. Amanda Lemos and Jillian Robertson. You like Amanda Lemos in this one?
Well, I tell you what I don't like. Not that I love Amanda Lemos, but I'm worried about Robertson. It is extremely hard. What is our win streak up to? 8, I believe.
Oh, she's been
on Robertson.
Crushing 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
Oh
wait, no, she got the loss to Tabitha Ritchie.
Yeah, but
a lot of
it's
wins.
weird.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wins. Once she's honed in on her wrestling and stopped making the stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
She's looked very good. Yes.
10 most finishes, tied for the most finishes in the division's history with Amanda Nunes. Moved down to this weight class, has looked like a monster. I just don't think that you continue to dominate at this clip. It takes one bad day to blow your whole win streak out. But just showing up not at your peak, your bad weight cut, whatever, anything. Just wake up and don't have it. You don't realize how hard it is to show up on fight day at the perfect time, at the perfect weight, just tuned in, ready to rock. And I believe she's done that for a very long time in her career. Law of averages says it's not always going to be that way. And Lemos is the opposite. She's shown up flat as hell. So at what point do we see that scale kind of tip for Jillian? A little concerned about it at this point. Where I'm worried about it is if this fight doesn't hit the ground, I still don't think that Jillian's stand-up has been tested. We keep talking about this improvement in the stand-up, but she's still there to be hit. And against the lady who can hit as hard as Lemos, I'm concerned. Where I landed on this fight since we spoke is I think you just take this one not to go. If Jillian has her way. Yeah. If Jillian has her way, I think it's a real short night for Amanda Lemos. We've seen that when she gets railroaded in the grappling, it's over quick. It's not. Verna Jandaroba made it look easy from the back of Lemos. Jillian is very good getting to that back control and that top mount. So we're going to have a problem with the aging Lemos if that happens. If it's stuck on the feet, I got concerns about Jillian. I really do. I think it's a swerve. A lot of people are thinking distance, so I'm going to go the opposite way. The trend for this year is don't be where all the sheep are because the wolves are coming. So I'm going to go stand on my island and say, fight doesn't go. And I'm just watching this thing and seeing if Jillian can get the takedown.
On Monday, I was all in on Jillian Robertson. On Wednesday, I'm starting to move over to Team Lemos.
Okay.
I think by Saturday, I probably will be on Team Lemos. So here's why. Jandaroba and Tatiana Suarez are... Tatiana Suarez is just big, and she does the wrestling and grappling thing. And back in the day, Tatiana was one of the best around. She's still elite, but she didn't get everything that she tried to get. And she almost got knocked out in the third, by the way. She gassed out against Lemos. And the reason is because Lemos made her work really, really hard for everything. And so in the third, who was the closest to finishing this fight? It was Amanda Lemos. Mm-hmm. Tatiana Suarez was just holding on and, kind of getting some points here or there. It wasn't dominant, wasn't exciting. But who almost got to finish? It was Amanda Lemos. Jandiroba, yeah, it's kind of a, it's just kind of an alien. Going to get to your back and going to, make things difficult. I go back to this Lacerda fight, which I correctly predicted. I said Lemos is a live dog here. And Lacerda, that was the thing. Lacerda got a takedown, but it was only in the third round. Before that, Lemos was the one that was kind of being more physical and stuff. So if I'm looking at this going, well, who has Amanda Lemos lost to? Okay, Tatiana Suarez, elite, back taking, wrestling, clinching. Jandiroba, elite, back taking, wrestling, grab. Wile went the distance against Wile, which is, nothing to
shocking.
Sneeze.
At the time,
nothing to
it was
sneeze at.
shocking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so Julian Robertson. Well, how elite is this wrestling? Is Marina Rodriguez known for her physicality in the clinch and wrestling?
Strong wind can take her down.
Yeah. Luana Pinheiro. Is she going to be mistaken for a sumo wrestler anytime soon? No,
sir.
And now you're back to winning against Michelle Watterson Gomez. So what are we doing here with the Polyetta Viana? So I'm coming back to your side where what if Robertson goes for the same style of wrestling and clinching that Tatiana Suarez does, but Robertson's not as good and Lemos can circle out of it. And Julian Robertson isn't as physical. So on the feet, I don't even think it's close. I think Lemos hits just a lot harder and Robertson's striking isn't there. So I'm coming around on Lemos. Check in with me on Friday and Saturday, and I bet I'm going to have a bet on Amanda Lemos. So
I want to see these two weigh in and face off. That's very important for me in this fight. We got to check weight cuts. Lemos is in a spring chicken. Make sure she wakes weight. Also, I want to see if Lemos comes in looking great because
there's been an injury.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's been injuries with Lemos. She's a little long in the tooth here, but again, she only has 20 fights. It's not like she's like Chris Curtis got 44. So. But leaning more and more towards Lemos. All right, we go to the main event, Josh Emmett and Kevin Vallejos. After this, we're going to do our Parlay Buster and our woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'll take this one first here, Jim. I like this fight to go over 3.5 rounds. That's going to be my pick. You don't need me to tell you that Kevin Vallejos is 17-1 and young and quick and, all that jazz. Here's what I know. There's a 5-round fight, and Josh Emmett has been in there against, some of the best. This guy has fought Leroy Murphy and Topuria, went the distance against Topuria. Yair Rodriguez and Yusuf's Law. How is he losing? By submissions. Is that Kevin Vallejos' game? Not really. Josh Emmett is older, 41 years old. I do not believe in this thing about how powerful Josh Emmett is. He has one knockout in the last how many fights? And that was when he destroyed Bryce Mitchell, who is not a striker. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay, I don't think submission's on the table. I also don't think he's getting knocked out because guys aren't knocking him out. And I look at Vallejos, and the thing is, Vallejos, first 5-round fight, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell him you got to manage your cardio. Josh Emmett is a veteran. He has been there. He has done that. He's seen this. I don't think you're going to see the huge explosions from Kevin Vallejos. The fact is, Kevin Vallejos couldn't get Danny Silva out of there. He went the distance against that. And Giga, he lost the first round. And you and I were watching that fight live, and it was like, Giga is slow. He's going to get caught. And it was slow, and he did get caught. So Kevin Vallejos, the much younger fighter, the quicker, the more explosive fighter, is he going to have the bigger moments? I think so. But both these guys kind of are low volume. That's the other thing. They both load up for the huge shots. I will not be surprised if Emmett absorbs some big shots from Vallejos early, and Vallejos in his corner, like, we got to play the long game in this one. This is your main event. And also, Jim, what have we seen in these main events? Don't get on a highlight reel. I don't want to get finished. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes the distance in in one of these surprise, like, oh man, we should have seen a finish, like Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, that goes the distance and has 76 significant strikes. I got over 3.5. Vallejos should win. I think he pulls away a little bit late, but I'm not going to be surprised if this is if you see some big shots early and then they calm down and realize we got 5 rounds to go. Give me the over.
So I'm dusting off an oldie but goodie for this main event. I'm going with an escalator play in this main event. I think that's the way we got to play this thing. For those of you who don't know, we had the old escalator play we talked about on the live show where you get a 5-round fight and you're going to bet round 1 to start or finish. Sorry, let me start over. Round 2 to start with something else to make it playable. Round 3, round 4, round 5, fight goes the distance. This is a decision. Who's finishing who? I actually believe the speed might be on Josh Emmett's side. And Vallejos, great chin on him. We know he can go the distance.
Both guys got great chin.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. I think you nailed it. It's an over in this spot. And, yeah, Josh, Vallejos is not going to take him down and submit him. Vallejos at some point is going to have to think about his cardio. Everybody will be sitting on Vallejos TKO tickets.
Yes.
Vallejos parlayed. And fight doesn't go because look at the firepower. These main events continue to disappoint and go over. Not that I love a good fight that goes to decision. I hope it's a great fight. But we've seen Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway have 76 strikes in 5 rounds.
Crazy.
Give me a break. It's an over. Josh Emmett is a live dog as well in this fight. This could be a veteran lesson. It really, really could. Just these guys, I know Vallejos, 17-1, a lot of experience, hits hard, good defensive wrestling. But what if Josh just dances around the outside? We've always seen Josh Emmett have great movement. Where I would worry on the Emmett side is all you have to do is look at him and he starts bleeding. So the second you see any kind of cut on the scar tissue of Josh Emmett, it's going to lean towards the judges. Also, keep in mind, and I had to bring this up going from this topic. I actually have it in my notes. If a cut happens in round 1, we know as fans that it's okay if that fighter loses that round. But when that cut continues to bleed, the judges will continue to score the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
You're right.
So
yeah.
If there is an early cut, it will continue to snowball. It's a close round. It doesn't matter. Even though the cut happened in the first round, they're going to score it. They're not watching it like we are. They're not, I'll say it, they're not as educated as a lot of us fans are that have been watching this sport for 20-plus years. So you got to watch out for cuts. How many fights have we seen where a guy gets a nosebleed and it changes the whole scoring? A nosebleed. Blew my nose this morning. Got a nosebleed. Didn't have to get punched, but it affects 5 rounds of a fight. I mean, listen, the damage is done in a round. It should stay in that round, but the visuals are swaying the judges. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on betting Josh Emmett this weekend.
All right, we move on to the parlay buster and the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do you have a parlay buster? Most of these fights are parlay pieces. So where's going to be the buster? There's going to be a few of them.
Yeah, there is a lot of parlays. I think that a lot of people are going to look at Petrino with the weight move up and the way he looks. They're going to watch face-offs. They're going to see Asplund not knowing who he is, which we know about him, that the guy can fight. And they're going to slam dunk it. It's Petrino by knockout. Like that, or Petrino, period, is going to anchor a lot of parlays. I'm going to go with Asplund. I think if Petrino tries to get the finish and doesn't get it, we could see an adrenaline dump situation. And like I said, we have no idea what that cardio and chin looks like when pressed in an actual heavyweight fight with competition. And I think Asplund can bring it.
I'm going to go with Omar C. I think everyone's going to say, oh, he's going to wrestle. Oh, Cutelaba. And I think this fight gets really, really messy. So I'll just take that one as my parlay buster. All right, woulda, coulda, shoulda. These have been the death for bankrolls. What's woulda, coulda, shoulda? What's the fight at the end of the night where we're like, why didn't we bet that one? Which, by the way, the one last week was absolutely the over in the Kyle Brawler de Ritter.
Yes.
Fight. That was the most obvious. obvious one. So.
Especially
All right.
when DeRitter got hurt 2 minutes in and Kyle didn't finish him, it was
It was it was over.
right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jose Delgado by finish over Andre Fili.
Ooh.
Yeah. The height I just think is a absolute nightmare for Fili. I can't explain to people who have never sparred before the difference when or fought before. The difference in height, how much of a difference that makes. With the power of your punches, there's less power when you're punching up, and defensively, it's a freaking nightmare. It's a nightmare. It changes the whole world. You could fight the best fighter in your school, and you got 6 inches on him, you're going to kick his ass a lot of times because he's not going to be able to cut the range every single time. When you're nose to nose, and it's 50-50, even Steven, it's a problem. And this is a guy who's relied on a height advantage and relied on a reach advantage his whole career. I don't think he's ever fought anybody as tall as Jose Delgado. So they're both 5'11", Delgado by knockout.
I'm going to fading the retired fighter. I'll take Brad Tavares as the woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Beautiful.
When he wins by late second round finish when the Eric Anders gas is out, and we're just sitting there being like, God damn it. How did we not how do we not lay the house on the guy retiring? So I'll take that one. So, because I actually think Tavares still wants to be in UFC.
He does.
I think he still wants to keep getting some fights and keep getting these paychecks. So you get a guy like him that if he wins this one, because the fact is he's lost 3 out of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep getting those paychecks. You got to win this one. So I'll take Brad Tavares as my woulda, coulda, shoulda. So.
It works
All
out
right,
perfect
guys.
because his wins are what? Chris Weidman and who's
Yeah.
Brad's last 2 wins? He's a pro at knocking out old guys. So
Weidman
this
and
is
Gerald Mearshart.
yeah. This is what he does: is knock out old guys, beat the shit out of them,
It's
or
wild
go to
that
decision with old guys. Excuse me.
It's wild. This guy went to decision against Duplessis.
And it.
It's one of those wild, like, wait, Brad Tavares went the distance with Duplessis? All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Please hit the like button. It helps us out. Leave a comment in the comment section. How many significant strikes are there going to be in the main event? Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. All plays are at wagertalk.com. Didn't do any promos for this week, but if you're interested in some plays, we got some really good specials. Buy 3 days, get 3 days free. So looking forward to a big weekend. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone on the live show on Saturday. Take care.
Good luck, guys.